Good evening. We are Boomer Rex tonight, and we're here with Thanksgiving Explained Part 7, The Evolution of the Feast. But first, let me introduce Mr. Boomer Rex himself.
Boomer Rex, Nightly News.
And
Feel the burn.
Who cares about me, Internet? How are you doing?
And I'm RisenLadyHeathen.
That's right. Give us a comment. Tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
I need one because I need one to help me figure out what the other side's going to argue about stuff.
Oh, okay. That's right. We need a nemesis.
Not even a nemesis, just a
My nemesis.
someone who speaks Rockatoon. Hey,
Anyway, let's talk about Rolls-Royce. They have an electric plane now. Tell us all
Now,
about it.
remember a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about a new turboprop, right? Business jet, shaped like a torpedo.
oh yeah, that's
All
why you're
right.
supposed to send us money to the Internet.
So absolutely, because we'll try one. So anyway, Rolls-Royce has been working with the idea of an electric aircraft, right? And so their spirit of innovation just hit a top speed of 387 miles an hour, which is whipping right along.
Yeah,
Right?
well played.
The problem with, and it's across electric vehicles, right? Look at the application, right? The problem is that batteries weigh 50 times as much
Right.
as
Yeah.
the fossil fuel that they replace.
Well, and you get no point of no return benefit, right? Because you're not carrying the gas you burned;
Yeah,
it's gone.
right.
So you get lighter as you go.
Right. So anyway, the when you look at electric aircraft and stuff like that, or electric cars, an all-electric car would be wonderful for around town, and they're insanely simple. And once we get the battery technology to the point that it lasts forever and doesn't care if it's 100 degrees outside, it's a wonderful idea. And for planes. Right? If you have a short hop route, and I see a couple of the little regional jet folks working on electric versions of various turboprops, right? These would all be good ideas. And hell, join it with the body shape of a torpedo, right? And double your range, right?
Fair.
But again, these are the persistent problems with electrics, right? Is they just don't go as far as if you could fill them up with jet fuel or gasoline or whatever.
Right.
If they don't advertise them as your zombie apocalypse survival vehicle, because the gasoline's gonna be gone in 6 to 11 months. Diesel's good for way longer, but it's either horses or the sun.
Yeah.
And we
all right,
talked earlier that it would take days on a solar panel you'd probably carry around with you.
Yeah.
But really, like,
That's
how many
better
days?
than nothing.
Yeah, and it's hundreds of miles. And you're quiet.
And that leads right into the LA Auto Show, right? So lots of electric goodies there. And as someone said, lots of vaporware.
Hi, it's every concept car you've ever seen.
I know,
cute.
and they're concept cars,
Well,
right?
not all of them, but yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of them are concept cars. Well, I wouldn't even say a lot of them. There was a handful of them.
Yeah, but America likes just looking at cars, just
no.
the lines on cars. And
Hyundai had a really cool one that I was like, I need to, because it's the main picture on this article, right? So I'm like, I need to find out more about this car. So finally, looking through, I was able to figure out what the name of the car is, and it's called the Hyundai 7
Or whatever.
something or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I went on YouTube and I actually found their official promotion for it,
Yeah.
and it was really interesting.
Cool.
It's got a joystick instead of a steering wheel,
that
that pops out of the seat. Literally, if you look at the interior, it's like Star Trek. It is a legit Star Trek interior with the joystick on the seat
Oh my God.
and everything, and it's a captain's chair. Like it is hardcore Star Trek, and I was like, oh my God, this is terrible, but it's awesome. And they're talking about how they made like the materials like bamboo and stuff like that, so that it's supposed to be sustainable and that sort of thing. It was interesting. No, I actually enjoyed watching the little thing about it, but it was very interesting.
Is it electric?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. How much does it cost?
Oh, it's a concept car.
Fine. Okay.
So it doesn't exist.
No, and again, I have no heartburn with any concept car. In fact, right? I look at the little, Shelby Cobra look-alike, right? Electric, 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds.
Oh, yeah, that
I
looks
could live
cool.
with that,
Yeah.
right?
How good a photovoltaic paint would you have to get that I could have a car? The problem is you can't get all of it pointed at the sun. I get that. Mirrors.
As I recall, GM and a university went to, and we'll have all of the data tomorrow night, but they went to the Australia solar race with a little car that looked for all the world like an aphid, right? So round all over, totally covered in photovoltaics, right? Bicycle wheels, single passenger, right? Very aerodynamic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there it was either light enough or the body could be unhitched. So they could point it at the sun.
Yeah.
Right. So you drive all day, and then when you finally are down to where your battery's dying, you stop and you tip it toward the setting sun to get everything you can. Right. And then in the morning, you do the same thing the other way till your battery's got enough to keep you going till the midday. Right. When, I had a bicycle that would go forever between 10 o'clock and 2 p.m.
How big a solar panel do I need for my solar Humvee?
Yeah. Okay. So fine, let's talk about that. You're talking about a doomsday vehicle.
For a dune buggy, I'm down for any of the trail crawly beasties we see when we go camping.
Okay. So if you want a doomsday vehicle, one that will continue to operate despite the complete loss of everything.
Yeah.
Right. You need a bigger solar array, right? 2, 3, 4 kilowatts, right? And you're not going to get to drive it every day. Right. And we can figure that out too. So that's right now that for tomorrow, we'll actually walk through, right? For a rational car, or do you really seriously want a Humvee?
I have no particular marriage to the Humvee other than.
All right. So we'll do an F-250.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because there we can get good gas mileage numbers and so on.
Well,
Okay.
and all the stuff I would even really care about, you can just yank the quarter panels off.
Did you say F-150 or
F-250.
Okay. Because Ford actually made an F-150 that's fully electric.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, there is this one Chinese truck that was in this LA Auto Show that has solar panels that you can set out over the back truck bed, and it'll give you, those solar panels will give you an extra 35 miles or so. So if you get stuck out somewhere, it'll get you somewhere, right? It's enough to get you somewhere.
Yeah.
And it has a range of between 350 and 450 miles, fully charged. So that I was super impressed with. And I would certainly love to hear more about that.
My
particular
attitude toward electric
truck.
trucks is that the people who actually need trucks could not be less interested in an electric truck at
Can
the
you
moment.
not load them enough?
What?
What's the problem with them?
The problem is the same with all electric vehicles. Where the hell am I going to charge it?
Okay, fine.
Right. So, I need 400 miles of range, right? And I need a charger.
Yeah.
So anyway, the folks who drive, F-150s for funsies, that's their daily driver. Yeah, they might be fine with an electric, right?
Mm-hmm.
But by the same token, they should be driving one of the 2,000-pound electrics instead of a 6,000-pound electric.
Oh, but the truck looks way cooler.
Yeah, I know, I understand.
Fuck the
I mean,
environment. That's what these people are thinking every time they get into
Well,
that
no, if
truck. They
if
get
I
10
will-
miles per gallon. That's exactly what they're thinking.
No, that's the ones who are rolling coal.
Oh, yeah.
And that's an intentional detune,
Get them.
right? And in most states, it's illegal. I wish people would start writing tickets for it. Big ones. No, but we'll come back to
A
what would be
rational
sensible
solar-powered F-250 and what it would take to
keep
make
it
it
running.
and run it.
I'll get
Okay.
it a dune buggy the internet. Come on, they're already like 2/3 the way to agreeing to the pirate aircraft carrier named Yacht.
All right.
That's where the
Well,
electric plane's gonna land.
We'll do an
That's
electric.
beautiful.
We'll do an electric dune buggy. We'll base it on a Saturn SL,
Okay.
right? And we'll go from there. But yeah, no, and I'm sorry, but that was my response to the LA Auto Show is what the actual fuck. Yes, I understand. It's an auto show. But the car I'm looking for is the electric Volkswagen, and I don't mean the one they're making.
I was impressed to see that there's a lot of new electric SUVs. And you know me,
I'll take the fact that
I
talking
love a
about
good
it
SUV.
just because
I think it's great they're talking about it.
it means the car kids are going to get into it, which is what's always going to
That's
help,
fine.
right? These companies
Well,
doing
and if
it
we
at
get
all,
some
they
on the
built
road-
4, it would get cheaper.
We'll have gas stations putting in standardized fast charge sites.
I
where
believe
you-
there's a lot of places in California that already have that.
Yeah, so somebody should comment to us how big a hassle it is to have
You
an
know what?
electric
If
vehicle
you've got an electric
on
vehicle-
You know
vacation.
what? Fuck it. Let's add that to our research.
Okay.
Places that have plugs, electric car plugs.
Yeah. I'm sure it's on the web, charging sites.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So the question will now be, can I drive from Los Angeles to Houston?
I believe in you, the internet. You should try.
You know, one thing I found interesting when I was doing my cross country trip, was a lot of hotels nowadays have charging stations for electric cars. It is
That's a good idea.
becoming a very
Yeah.
common thing. And even if they don't have a charging station, you can say, "Hey, I have an electric car. You know, can I plug it in?" And they'll hook you up outside. I saw when we were in Albuquerque, I believe there
yeah.
was a car that was plugged in right outside the side door.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm making it up, but
Yeah.
You don't know the internet. You weren't there.
yeah, no, it happened. Internet, F you.
Anyway, the more electrics we have, the better the infrastructure will get.
Oh,
Right.
for sure.
And then we can, and part of the problem with electrics is those batteries are damned heavy,
Yeah.
right? So if you want actual range at night, right?
Well,
If you're satisfied with only moving during the day, you can look at doing something like GM did in Australia, right? But it's, again, that was single, okay, we'll make it 2-passenger. But now you're going to be worried about how much does your backpack weigh, right?
Yeah.
But again, I had a bicycle that between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. in Arizona gained charge as I cruised along at 17 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So,
so I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something.
It's probably found just goddamn meaning of life, I bet.
It probably was. It had something to do with the number 42. I am certain. No, I'm just kidding. No, anyway.
No, but you looked at me like you meant it. Like for a second, I was like, okay, well, what have we been talking about? No, God, dude.
No, what were we talking about? We were talking about the cars. We were talking about
It's gone forever now. This is why you should like, comment, and subscribe to the internet
shit.
while we sit here.
so we'll come back to, anyway.
Now I want someone to be watching us on one of those TVs you have to shake like a
if
baby.
you want to go somewhere at night in your electric car,
Yeah,
those batteries are goddamn heavy.
and I can't
So
build a
now
frame
you're
out of
out of the
battery.
bicycle wheel
Batteries.
category.
Well, there you go. You're
Right.
welcome. Welcome back.
So,
All right. Were you still talking about the thing?
I
No,
was
I'm
saying
just
you could
pointing
make a
out
frame
that
out of
the-
batteries, and it's a shame.
because of the weight of the batteries, it's going to look kind of car-like.
Now, I want to do some research because the article I saw about the LA Auto Show did mention that some new batteries had come out.
Oh, of
So
course.
I'm curious to see what these new batteries are, if they're lighter, if they're whatever. So that could be important with our discussion tomorrow night about the rational solar powered Saturn SL or Ford F-250.
Remember, you're trying to make up a 50-fold deficit.
So I need a solar helicopter.
God.
Yeah.
Well, there's one on Mars you could go steal.
Well, that seems like an awfully long walk.
Yeah.
It's only, sort of rabbit-sized.
How
Yeah.
long can you hold your breath?
As long as I want.
Yeah. And I think you can fly it
For as long
around.
as I care about.
No, I think solar power helicopter is a no.
How about a solar powered hovercraft?
Oh, well, the amount of thrust you need to create might be more difficult.
Stay tuned, the internet. I'm going to talk them into.
Yeah.
Helicarrier.
My
Yeah,
impression
yeah.
on helicopters is that they're inherently gas hungry, because they're not terribly efficient.
Yeah.
But they're insanely versatile.
Yeah.
Right. But I think when you throw in that inefficient, you're going to want fuel.
You can do it with 35 quadcopters. It's fine. Fucking
Well, there are
lame.
people flying around little.
Yeah, no. Scumbag universe.
So.
So what's going on with the Wisconsin tragedy? I'm not even going to pretend to attempt.
The only reason I put that down is we talked about it last night and we were confused about what the hell had happened. So anyway, the guy's name is Darrell Edward Brooks. He's going to get charged with a minimum of 5 first-degree murder charges.
Fair.
But when we were watching the videos, right, especially the earlier videos, which showed the early part of what was going on.
A bunch of near misses or near hits.
But it was clear that he was trying to avoid people, which is not your
standard
standard, let's hurt everybody kind of thing. And then when you watch the later ones, he realizes he's going to run over some people and just stops caring, apparently. But anyway, that there is evidence that he was running from a previous
crime.
Something about a knife fight.
Yeah, and to which the police had been called, so he was trying to escape and so forth.
Yeah.
So now it all kind of makes sense, right? Why would he carefully drive around
I wouldn't say
the drum majors?
No, I would not say he carefully drove around anyone. I'd say
Yeah.
where there was room, he went around people
Yes.
when he could, and when he couldn't, he said
He just drove over.
he just didn't care. I don't think he had any intentions.
This wasn't a human going for high score.
Right.
No. So anyway,
You've seen those. Those look different.
Right.
Yeah, they really do. Anyway, so that one looks like it's gradually wrapping up.
Yep. I want to see what happened in Manchester, Connecticut, get more sorted. Because the video I've seen, again, looks like somebody freaked out and ran over people.
Bumped people.
Somebody drove through a crowd of people who spooked them.
Right.
It's fucking shit.
Stop spooking people.
No, part of me wants to say, fuck, man. When I've demonstrated, I stay out of the street because I know it looks so different when you are sitting in the car.
And a group is trying to surround your car.
And they care about a thing. And
Well, but from witnesses, or I wouldn't call them witnesses, but from the people that, were avoiding this car, it was stated that he was screaming and yelling and very angry and just drove the car through. So
Or terrified. So, anyway.
I think that's interpretation, and we'll only know once this all kind of comes out. Yeah, I would not give him one direction or the other.
No.
all anger stems from fear. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, and thank God.
Don't run over people. If you're protesting, don't surround their cars because it scares hell out of them and makes them do stupid shit.
But this sounds like it was like 15 to 20 people. It's not like it was like a huge crowd. Like we've seen these bad situations where people were in with
but
thousands
the video
of
shows
people
them moving toward the car, which was a mistake.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they were letting cars through when it was green lights, and I
But he probably didn't know that. What he saw was a crowd closing in on his car. I understand.
He's
his
going to be
fear.
able to easily articulate that, whether it's true the fuck or not.
Right.
So don't
say understanding shit. And good job, the handful of people who were there armed for not sorting it.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
my
advice is do not be armed if you're going to go to a protest. You're going to a place where we're agreeing to disagree, but we're doing it the loud, shouty way.
Right.
Or anyway.
And stay out of the streets. I'm sorry.
Yeah, too many places are making it legal, and you gotta get in the way and you gotta do stuff, and
I have a real interesting
I don't think getting in the street is going to make anybody change their mind about how they feel about your organization.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's counterproductive, period.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. You should stay on the sidewalks, and if you can't, remember traffic and don't get in front of cars. And
it's not so much, right, God damn it, protesters, why are you doing this thing? It's you're going to lose as a human versus car. That's only ever got one outcome. And for whatever reason, people are running people over.
Yeah,
These
and this
people
isn't a
who
new
agree with
thing.
me on like 90% of how we should fix things. Stop
People running
getting
over
run
protesters is not a new thing. This
No.
has been happening for a
Oh,
while
for
now,
sure.
and a lot of the times, we've seen which direction the wind blows on this, and most of the time, it's in the direction of the drivers, whether that's appropriate or not.
Yeah. No, drivers, stop getting in fucking positions that scare you. Do not drive up on groups of people. Drive around them. Go in another lane. Other cars will let you go if you're just in their lane.
Yeah.
Assuming they're gonna like have enough time to see you and stuff. Just drive around the humans. Do not run people over the internet. How many times have we told you?
And then just for funsies, we're going to come back to QAnon because, oh God.
QAnon and JFK, what's going on?
So they've been waiting for JFK to return, and he's not returning. And apparently, there were some conversations last night where people are saying, you know, we have to experience that physical death. I mean, to let go, to come out on the other side. And then some of them may be headed for Waco.
So it turns out I'm the one who's going to be rude and make the joke of, yeah, so he didn't show up, so they're going to go get him. No, I agree with all of the people who were saying this is a bad sign, especially once I saw a map to Waco, like,
yeah, this is not good.
None of the words you're invoking, however they're supposed to be interpreted, end well. Yeah, and I saw a sad article where someone had lost a family member to this.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was rough.
Part of me wants to go, I would absolutely start a business, like, give me some money, I'll go get your whoever. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
apparently it is kind of a business because the one they lost had given $200,000, probably every penny they had.
Yeah.
And I'm just...
Another one, her husband's shutting off the cards because he doesn't know he's going to pay the mortgage this month. Like, he and the kids don't want to live outside just because Mama found a new religion.
Decided to,
And
but
when
it
they start
looks
making
more and
statements
more
like that, it looks like they're going down the drain.
Yeah.
Like, this is when the Kool-Aid starts.
The good news is there are no comments around for them to want to catch a ride on.
There's always a thing. It's what I hate about these people.
Yeah.
It's why a little bit the internet, when you say, oh, something's an omen, and don't sort of laugh in an irreverent way, I look at you weird and I worry. And
it also points up the fact that so, you know, these families know that they have a family member who has gone wacko.
Yeah.
Right?
And
there's no...
Sorry, fuck, I'm so bad. I just can't. I have to make jokes because I feel bad for them, and I can't process that well, so I have to.
Why do we make jokes? Because it hurts too bad not to laugh.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. It's one of those things where when you're in that situation and this just really depressing thing, you have to make that joke. Otherwise, you're just gonna fucking cry, and crying isn't gonna fix anything.
Yeah. Well, and this isn't hassling me for money in airports type cults. This is. They're all going to turn up dead and tense or whatever. And if I called it internet, I'm psychic. You should send me money right after you like, comment, and subscribe.
Right, and we'll tell you what'll happen next week.
I'll stop saying horrible things someday.
And stop making predictions.
Stay tuned.
But it also points up the lack of rational ways to intervene, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We see case after case after case where people knew something was wrong. They knew it was going to end badly. And nothing. There was no
programming is bullshit.
There was no workable provision for them to intervene.
Well, and in some instances, this was hidden from family members for a year or more at a time.
All big
and
time.
Then suddenly comes out, and by that time they're so deep in, there's nothing you can do to
There's
pull
nothing the
them
family
back.
can do.
All major antisocial damage like that is going to be hidden.
So,
but yeah,
I'm sorry. I feel awful for the people waiting for JFK.
Yeah,
I
feel bad for their families. Good luck, everybody.
Well, yeah, no,
we talked last night.
Save them, the internet.
We talked last night that the engines that are running, you know, what should you look at next? The engines that are filling your Facebook feed, right? Whether intentionally or not, are tuned to drive you deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah.
Right. So, what are other people who watch this watching now?
I have seen perfectly sane people fall to chemtrails the same as the crystal
yeah.
healing properties of whatever,
Oh, God.
or detoxifying, or
Right. No, so again, and
and the
remember
fitness kids
too
get the same amped up.
that one of the reasons those algorithms stay around is because they provide personal information and a trajectory of your interest, which makes you saleable to somebody who wants to sell you the detox pads and the magic crystals and on the trip to Dealey Plaza to wait for JFK.
The internet,
By the way, this is not saying that if you like stones and crystals that you can't like
No.
stones and crystals.
It's
but,
fine.
You know, and if it's a
All-
religious thing for you, then that's great too. But
hobbies and moderation in all things.
Yeah, don't spend your life's
Yeah.
fortune because buying this stone is gonna get you $1 million. Because no,
Right.
that's not gonna happen.
happen.
That was
Yep.
gonna be my point. Is if your kids can't have food because you needed to buy another geode because that was gonna thing that was gonna whatever. Like,
Oh, God.
why?
No, and again, like all good things in moderation.
Yes. No, I don't
Yeah,
care
they're
what keeps the
beautiful.
monkey out of the bell tower. I care about when they start like setting their lives on fire.
Right. No, I just because I know that there's a lot of people, and I am one. I love my crystals, and
No,
I do feel like friendly with them and such, and that's just part of my
you
religion.
like your pet rocks.
Yeah, they're
That's
my
cool.
buddies. They make me happy.
They're
and
pretty pet rocks.
They're wonderful. So my
You're good to
point
go.
is that it's okay as long as you're not spending $200,000.
Now I'm expecting you to say I can quit anytime I want. But no, I feel the same way. Let me say instead then, I feel the same way I did about the kids who went all in on Y2K or 2012.
No, I'm going to be 100% honest. Quitting my love for stones would be like quitting my love for Sailor Moon. It's just not going to happen. I'm not
Fair.
even going to try.
Ride or die.
All I'm going to
Yeah.
do is moderate it.
Gotcha.
And that's what I do.
Oh, and I want to point out on Y2K, Y2K was a real problem, but it was also a problem for machines and systems that we could identify.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of the older business programming was written in COBOL. One of the ways to keep your code size down and your storage size down was to use a 2-digit date.
Yep.
But the people who had those systems knew they had them,
Mm-hmm.
and they paid. I mean, I was offered 90,000. I was making 40,000 a year, and I was offered 90,000 a year to go repair old COBOL programs, which is the last thing on earth I'd ever want to do. But whoa, 90,000 a year? Can I do it from home? I wasn't smart enough to ask that. But
Right?
yeah.
No, but news, of
No,
course, given the option between saying, hey, there's a not very interesting technical problem with some computers, but it's all going to be okay, instead said, come back tonight, we'll tell you if you're going to live or die.
Right. No, and I had tech friends who the night of New Year's Eve for 2000 were at work making sure that things were running, and they get paid extra and whatever for it. But
Of course. No, and there what you're concerned about is that there is some fragment of code somewhere that somebody missed.
Yeah.
That's going to upset, right? What do you really care about?
What the hell went down the other
I don't
week
want
'cause
my
it screwed
credit
up-
card network to stop working,
Yeah.
right?
right.
I don't
Or not
want
even
the
stop
cash
working.
machines to stop working.
Right.
Some switch in the middle of nowhere is going to go hertiger because it's power thing.
Yeah.
Right? So now all of a sudden the East Coast doesn't believe the West Coast exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need that.
And
Well, and
that's fine.
we're also having, in case you haven't read about it, you can go find it. We're having the GPS turnover, right? And there are little bits and fractions of code here and there that are going to trip on that.
Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll tell you how not to die when the GPS thing switches over.
Yeah, if the GPS tells you to drive off a cliff, just
Don't.
Just don't.
Right.
Send me money and I'll tell you what the answer is.
Yeah.
If your GPS sends you down an unpaved road and you weren't planning on visiting a family member who lives on an unpaved road,
Stop.
stop.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe. The internet, I'll tell you where the antidote is.
Yep.
So let's talk about Target. What's going on there?
Well, no, I was happy.
Yeah.
Target is closed on Thanksgiving.
Of course
Oh,
they
yeah.
are.
Well, okay,
Wonderful
that was
thing.
interesting. They were closed on Thanksgiving last year because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it turned out their employees liked it.
Well, of course
And
they did.
Target figured out that their employees liked it. And so now Target will be closed on Thanksgiving in perpetuity because their employees like to be with their families on Thanksgiving.
Who'd have thought?
Right?
Who could have known?
Can
4
I say-
minutes of being
Way
good,
to
Target.
go, Target.
Can I say when I worked at McDonald's, we did like a half day. So we were open for a half day, but it was only managers. So all of us managers, and we took turns, right? So 1 year, one of us would do the next year, the next group would do it. But so anyway, it was all managers, and it was a snowstorm because this was in New Hampshire. So this is the huge snowstorm, and we had people coming because their power was out, and trying to get these assholes out so that we could go home and be with our families after we closed was a pain in the ass because these people were just didn't understand. We're like, look, we're trying to go home to our families. Like, you got your food, you ate, we need you to leave now. And they're like, but we don't have electricity at home. Great, sucks to be you. I still have a family at home and we have a generator. We live in New Hampshire, fuckers. Goodbye. You know, like, just don't. When people say they're closed, go away.
So anyway, way to go, Target.
Oh, for sure.
So, and of course, when we're researching all this, we're visiting various different sites, right? Like Washington Post and New York Times and all kinds of other sites. And, you know, every once in a while, you run into a paywall. I hear you've got some thoughts on paywalls.
We're going to talk about that later. First, let's talk about AOC admonishing Dems.
Well, no, the whole question is, okay, Democrats, 2022 coming up.
Yeah. We just
Right.
took it in the teeth in Virginia.
Yeah, which ought to be one lesson.
You know,
Right,
first
so-
everyone's busy running around with their hair on fire because we know there's lessons to be learned, but
Well, the lesson to be learned is that Donald Trump is not the problem.
Yeah.
Right? He's not the disease. He's the fucking symptom. And that if you want to be taken seriously, you probably ought to go do something for working folks that you can point to.
Yeah.
You know, say no later than June of 2022. That's exactly right.
well, and
7
as
months
we
away.
learned from the Affordable Care Act, the stuff that doesn't kick in,
Yep.
there's long enough
Doesn't
for there to be
count.
lawsuits
Yeah.
that damage the mechanisms
Mhm.
or separate them, or maybe to declare they're inseparable. Or
Mhm.
so no, it's we also play some games to make the total cost of things smaller. And hey, doesn't that
So we'll
sound
phase
familiar?
it in. So,
Yeah.
right.
Because
So
the American voter is totally great at attributing things to who voted for it and knowing the good things are coming.
yep.
We're really good at delaying satisfaction. That's
Yeah.
exactly America's
Just a little bit
founded
of America,
on
and you'll know.
resisting temptation.
So, and again, AOC's thing was don't overpromise and underperform,
Right.
right?
Which is what they're aggressively known for doing.
Yeah.
And it's what we complain about
Well,
often
and
on this show.
in their defense, that turns out to be in some cases what you can do in this environment.
But they should have
But it
framed the
isn't going to
fight that
get you
way.
reelected.
They should have framed the fight that way.
Absolutely.
That right, they are ready to get down in the trenches and do the like things. It's going to be horrible.
Yeah.
It's going to be a slog. It's going to be a negotiation. It's going to be the worst part of lawmaking
Yep.
the United States has, and it's going to be done in the 24-hour news cycle, which means we're going to get to watch every
Yep.
eye-blistering, boring moment.
Yep.
Right.
So anyway, so what should the Democrats do? Go do something for working folks. Go do something to move America
Bit of a wage.
back
Yeah.
from the third world that it
Yeah.
has
Universal
become
health
part
care.
of.
Yep.
Tax the rich.
Yes.
Minimum
If nothing
wage.
else. Yeah. No,
Get the
minimum wage.
Get the minimum wage on the ballot everywhere,
Yeah.
and you won't have any problem in 2022 at all.
Oh, yeah.
So
For sure.
No, start trying to think crazy things like 40 hours a week ought to be enough to
Yeah.
fucking live.
wow, whole new idea, you kind of think.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I now have a brief discussion on dead white man's clothing.
Go ahead.
I
So
ran into that when I was seeing the Target thing.
this is by U.S. News. The article is called "How Fast Fashion Dumps into the Global South." It's by Zoya Wazir.
It's a good thing Target doesn't sell cheap clothing that's made out of flimsy materials.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to
It was that long, Target.
put-
That long before I hit you with
put
the stick.
the link in the description to this article, and I'm just going to read 2 paragraphs from it just briefly, because I there's a lot in the article, and it's a lot of interesting information, so I don't want to have to try to turn it into what I normally do. So here we go. And I quote, specifically in Africa, secondhand clothing from Western countries clogs local markets and landfills. The textiles travel from retail secondhand stores to private third parties and containers, and are eventually sold to overseas entities which upcycle or revamp the clothes before reselling them, according to Sarah Bibby, the co-founder and acting director of Make Fashion Clean, a nonprofit organization working to make denim consumption more sustainable globally. In Ghana, these clothes, which are called Orboani Wawu, in the Akan language, or dead white man's clothes, are purchased in bales by market traders who do not know what is in them for $25 to $500 each before being repaired and revamped as necessary and eventually making their way to Ghana's second-hand markets. However, the increasingly poor quality of fast fashion clothing makes it difficult for upcyclers, people who revamp and recycle used clothes, to give these clothes a new life, forcing them to be discarded at landfills, which in turn has detrimental impacts on the local environment.
Dead white man's clothes.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out our landfills are aggressively like chock full of science and know-how.
Mm-hmm.
And those things
And
get
can handle that
separated
type of
so they
thing,
can
yeah.
degrade and So way to find a way to do it scummy on the cheap and be horrible, I'm sure more than once. Because I'm willing to bet fast fashion clothes have a propensity to be made in sweatshops. by
They're
children
made
with their tiny little
cheaply,
hands.
they're made poorly, so they're not as easy to revamp and
That for
renew.
sure, yeah.
And on top of it, we're absolutely forcing these clothes, mainly on Africa. And we actually threatened to take away some of our help
Yep.
if they stopped accepting these clothes, which is screwing up their own ability to make
Anybody want to bet this
textile
counts towards our
companies
textile aid
and their
as
own
well?
their own ability to make these textiles and to make their own clothing. So they aren't making any money. This is fucking them over like 3 different ways because they've got so much of it, they can't do anything with it, and half of it's crap.
Yeah. And I'm saying this problem starts in a sweatshop and ends at like, God damn it. This is not what we were supposed to be doing, the internet.
Yeah.
Nope. So
Bad.
instead of donating those old clothes, give them to somebody that you know needs them, or appropriately get rid of them yourself. Sure. Do not donate clothes. You're not helping anybody. Because I imagine this is how Goodwill gets rid of a lot of their crap clothes.
That's a good question. Where do the various pipelines lead?
Yeah.
So.
But it's an interesting.
Sometime with slow internet, we'll run it down.
It's really interesting. So I will put
karma debt now for making a joke about sweatshops.
I will put a link in the description to this article because it really is interesting, and everybody should definitely read it, especially with the holiday season coming up, especially with people wanting to donate and thinking they're helping. You're not helping. You're making things worse. So let's keep this in mind as we move forward. And now we're going to get into our...
Happy holidays. Be sad about something.
Some of that is consumed in the U.S., and that is awful.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So
I don't
jobs
think it's a simple... Targets.
Well, here's
I wasn't
the thing.
being shitty.
No. Here's the thing. If you bought these clothes at Walmart, okay, if they have holes in them, if they have stains on them, don't fucking donate them.
Yeah.
If they're in perfect condition, then yes, go ahead and donate them.
That for sure.
But if they are worn, right, if they show their wear, if they're pitting, if they're whatever, no, these are useless clothes.
If
no
you
one's going
wouldn't
to
wear them tomorrow,
Right.
Don't.
If you're getting rid of them because they're trash, then
Yeah.
throw them in the fucking trash.
Okay.
And part of that is we drove hard through advertising a bunch of things in people that it was this right way to bank some good karma.
Yeah.
And so they're taking clothes thinking it's going to be given to who's the kid who wants more soup.
Right.
Yeah.
Twist.
Oliver.
Twist. Isn't it?
Yeah,
Oliver.
Oliver Twist. Yeah.
Okay. And I was off on who's it? with the
Anyway,
hand?
Thanksgiving
Command.
Explained Part 7. What and here's a question that I want you to comment on while you like and subscribe. What special food that may not be traditional does your family share on Thanksgiving?
Yorkshire pudding.
But that would be, I assume,
Probably not
traditional
with
in England.
turkeys. We tend to do Yorkshire pudding even with turkeys. It's
And I like that.
traditionally done with beef. So this year we're gonna have a great time.
That's great with everything.
Mac and cheese.
Yep, mac and cheese is a good one.
Is that not traditional Thanksgiving?
No, fuck.
It's not.
Think about it. They wouldn't have made mac and cheese back in the
Yeah.
day. That's not a thing. Yorkshire pudding has
Yeah,
been around
no,
for a long time, is my point.
I was thinking traditional modern American versus.
So if you think about traditional Thanksgiving, it would be probably more focused on English, like
Oh, for sure.
England,
Probably,
and I'm
yeah.
sure they had Yorkshire pudding. So I can't confirm or deny that. So you might be right. It might be a fun thing. But mac
Yorkshire
and cheese
pudding is
definitely.
what you do with the drippings from the roast
Yeah.
to get some extra carbs into people so they won't notice they didn't get a very big slice of roast.
Go ahead and Google it. It's super simple recipe,
It really
and
is.
it's really amazing.
The
It's-
trick,
So
the very
the
magical trick.
absolute trick, right? There are two of them. One is your ingredients have to be at room temperature,
Right.
right?
Or warmer, depending. Like if your house is a little cool,
You can warm them up.
Yeah.
You can put them on
Not
top of the
cold.
stove where they will
Yeah.
warm. And the second is that pan of drippings has to be absolutely smoking hot from the oven.
Yeah, literally
Do not
smoking.
hesitate, right? Because otherwise your Yorkshire pudding is going to turn into Yorkshire pizza, which is still edible, but it's not nearly as much fun.
Now, could you reheat it? So you take it out, you take what you want for gravy, and then put it back in the oven until it's back up to temp, and then
When you go to cook Yorkshire pudding, you have an empty pan with beef drippings or whatever
And
kind of
cuts
drippings
and-
or
yeah.
butter or whatever,
Fat,
right?
stuff
That
like
has been in the oven at like 400 degrees until it is absolutely smoking hot.
okay. So this
And
you
that's
do
when
after the fact. Okay, fine.
Yes.
I get you.
Yeah.
All right, so
I don't care where you get the drippings from or when.
that's fair.
Get them hot.
Right. Yeah, you could even
room temperature ingredients.
cook your whatever the day before, reheat it, and you can save it in the fridge overnight, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
put it in there
absolutely.
and heat it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So, National Geographic did an article written by Emily Martin that discusses Thanksgiving food over the years. It's titled, How the Traditional Thanksgiving Feast Has Evolved Over Centuries. First off, I want to start with fuck you, Nat Geo, for making me give you an email to read this.
Yeah.
Okay? And then telling me I have 3 articles left and that I need to subscribe.
That's how you end up getting 5-minute emails, you
That's
idiots.
Not fucking cool. This is something that's been aggressively pissing me off recently. The Washington Post has been doing it, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, LA Times, and others. This bullshit asking for subscriptions and money for good information. And we wonder why people are getting such bad information. The good stuff is hidden behind paywalls. I looked into the prices for a few of these, and they are absolutely outrageous. If it was $5 to $10 for a year, I would be more than willing to be like, yeah, sure, $5, $10 for a year worth of being able to. Sure, I'll do that. They want $1 to $1.50 and sometimes more a week.
Yeah.
And that's insane. You're not giving me a newspaper, okay? And I understand you have to pay
Yeah,
your
if I was
people.
literally getting a physical copy of the New York
But if
Times.
you want to get enough money, okay, if you want to get people to read your articles and keep yourself relevant, make it affordable. People can't afford,
No, absolutely.
$52
Another
to
bill.
$104 a year. That's insane.
Well, and until you do that, stop bitching about people who go to YouTube for their damn news and get hooked up into QAnon and the rest of the,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah,
the
because of all the
anti-vax
good,
trash and
I
the,
couldn't even tell you how many good articles that I would try to read, and it was always behind a paywall.
okay.
And it fucking makes me mad
Okay.
every single day.
So there are two paywalls that you probably encounter
I
frequently.
don't do that.
Don't? Okay.
I think we get in trouble at some point.
Oh, okay, fine.
We won't be teaching you how to defeat paywalls, the internet, if that's what you
Right.
came here for.
Right.
And again, the trick that you told me about does not work on cell phones. I tried it. So,
Lame.
and most people check their news on their phone.
Oh, yeah.
So you're reading articles on your phone. So yeah, no, that's not a thing. So lower your prices,
Same
and
thing
you
you
got
said
me.
to the folks in McDonald's. Sucks to be you.
But it's insane. And if you want people to use you as a source, and get people to read your shit, send
Start
me
trying
a
to be
free
available.
send me a free subscription.
Yeah.
I will push your stuff. I will click links to it. But I need a free subscription if you want me as
There
a
you go.
news reporter to
As-
talk about your shit. Because from
As
now
an
on,
influencer.
I'm never doing this again.
Okay.
I was so mad. I gave him one of my bullshit emails that I never used because it was
Yeah.
like, fuck you, assholes. But I needed this to be able to do this article.
Did
So
they check your email?
I probably got something that I'm probably never
Yeah,
checked.
fine.
But yeah,
Okay.
I'm sure they sent
So they
it.
That
didn't
being
check
said-
it before they gave you access.
5-minute emails are a thing. Just, and you can see all those little bones.
I know.
So the last thing I'm going to say on this is it's just ridiculous. It's gotten way out of control. Stop with the paywalls.
Well, and at the same, you wonder why you're dying for this. You have often said, like, because when I came up when pirating music was a concern, and right, that you'd be willing to pay some amount, but
Yeah.
all of the price points people talk about, they're insane.
They're stupid.
For the amount of sales you're going to make.
Well, and my thing is I'm not going to pay you the same amount as I would pay you if you were delivering a paper to my house every day.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
But who the hell's got
Keep
time to
fucking
read a
dreaming.
paper? Like,
Well, and to scroll through and to find exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And they only come out once a week, and it's not relevant by the time you get it, and
Yeah.
that's stupid. But no, make your subscription prices reasonable, or have it be a please donate, right? Because I'd be willing to kick you $5 a year, or if I have extra $5 and I'm using your articles a lot or reading them a lot, I'll kick you some extra money.
Yeah.
But be reasonable.
you're a
That's all I'm gonna
newspaper.
say.
Go mug corporations, because
Yeah,
if they don't pay
that's
for
your
you,
job.
then they want the people to be stupid.
Oh yeah. No.
Well, they do want
You're
people
journalists.
to be stupid.
You know how to shake people down.
Yeah.
Look, know your history of the internet.
Yeah, fucking dig up some dirt on somebody and say, give us some money so
Yeah.
we can stop with these
Go full
paywalls.
yellow journalism.
And
We
not
haven't
publish
already.
this story.
They have
Anyway.
basically gone yellow journalism already.
Yeah.
Make
So
it
anyway,
risk- shake
this
'em down.
article was very
Don't shake
interesting.
them down the internet.
And we have another new account of that first Thanksgiving with the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag. This explains. This one explains in the Pilgrims celebrating, their feast. They were firing guns, which made the Wampanoag fear that war had begun. So 90 men were sent to check it out. Finding the Pilgrims partying, they hunted some deer and joined in.
Cool.
So, I mean, it's pretty similar.
That's what I remember from childhood, basically.
Was that they showed up with deer? I remember that
Yeah.
part. Yep.
So, anyway, it's similar to the story we had told, with slight adjustment of they were celebrating and woohoo, choo choo, yay,
So
boom,
one
boom,
more
like-
time. The reason the party stopped was they ran out of beer.
Yep.
I am so sorry, but this is the American thing. Hold my beer.
So there you go, religious zealots. If you're moving in, refugees.
Oh my
back to the
God!
beer.
Pilgrims invented the hold my beer.
Oh, God.
Good job, guys.
Oh.
That's true. Florida man's ancestors likely came in.
I wonder if they were the first people in North America to shoot in the air in celebration.
no, God, for sure.
Okay,
And
so
that bothers me because, guys, you're wasting ammunition.
We'll make more.
So they
So-
must have had lots.
Right.
Yeah.
Or knew how to make it. Here.
Now, even after Lincoln called it a national holiday, the South still resisted labeling it a Yankee holiday. When FDR moved it for economic reasons, Black Friday became a thing, and it was divorced from any religious undertones. This eventually led it to become the family and friend holiday we know it to be today. Unfortunately, many Native Americans feel the holiday represents racism, violence, genocide, and mistreatment. And
It's certainly the opening act of what's going to lead into.
and in 1970, they began holding a day of mourning instead, known as Unthanksgiving Day. So that's that. I don't like that. I mean, I understand why. Like, I'm not saying they're wrong
I'm
for
perfectly
feeling
down
this
if
way.
anyone wants to celebrate Don't Trust Whitey Day.
Yeah, no, I think that's wonderful. I don't think it's wonderful, but I think that it's okay for them. Like, it makes sense if you look at the history, like we have aggressively gone through. Yeah, no, bad things fucking happened, and this was terrible.
And I think just possibly it's not our job as white folks to judge Native Americans.
Right.
So.
I just personally
I'm
feel
not their holiday supervisor.
I
That's right.
personally feel like it's sad that even
Yes.
today we can't all sit down around a Thanksgiving table and you know try to work things out, and that to me is sad. And I'm not saying the Native Americans wouldn't be willing to or anything like that. Please, if you're Native American, comment, like, and subscribe, and be my friend. I do need a friend to help me out with this sort of stuff so I don't sound like a total idiot. So please feel free to breach the gap for me. But anyway, so that's kind of depressing to me. But hopefully over time, now that this isn't a religious thing anymore, and now that it is more of a, you know, a friend and family holiday, that maybe we can hopefully someday move past this horrible, you know, connection.
Reality
that
of what
it
happened
has.
on page 3.
Yeah, no,
And just accept that Thanksgiving is a family and friends holiday.
Yeah. It's not the same thing that it used to be, and for many years it was almost encouraged to believe these horrible things because of the way we were raised to
It's
believe
easier
about
to
the Native
teach American
Americans
mythology than American history because America is full of
It was the holiday in the month of November,
Uh-huh.
and you had all kinds of little autumny colors, and it was really great to have the
Macy's had
little
a thing they want to
pictures
talk about.
of
And,
you know, Macy's Day Parade. So
But anyway, the turkey being easy to capture was quickly a staple
Yeah,
in
they're fucking mean.
the Pilgrim diet. So it's easy to see how it became a part of the legend of the first Thanksgiving,
Right.
whether they had it or not. The concept of the wishbone, where two people grab, you know, one person
The
grabs
ends,
on one
right.
piece and one person grabs on the other, and then you pull.
Yeah.
And the person
Bigger
who,
chunk wins.
first of all, you both make a wish. You take your thing, you
Right.
make your wish,
Got it.
and then you break it. If you have the bigger piece, you win.
Your wish is powered by the death of their wish.
Now, do you guys
and
know
the turkey.
Yeah.
do you guys know the trick of how to get it to snap your way every time?
I assume you just grab it higher up.
That helps,
Sure,
but there's
why not?
also you gotta like anchor it right, because if you just pull straight, it'll break how it breaks. But
Yeah.
if you tilt
Tilt yours.
it
Yeah.
just a little bit up as you pull, so pull up and out, that a lot of times will lead you to be the winner.
So the internet, write down so we never forget. Don't
Cheating
do
on
the
wishbones.
wishbone thing with Risen. She's cheating.
Right.
I used to
Or
win
she's
that.
letting you win.
I
which
used
is
to win
brutal.
that almost every time I did it.
Yeah.
I was bad.
So, in a similar vein, years and years and years ago, my family would occasionally have shrimp. And, you know, they were decent sized, you know, perfectly normal, wonderful cooked shrimp. But there was a thing about, you know, dividing them equally, right?
Uh-huh.
You know what
The
I can
origin
eat?
of that? What's that?
I can eat a shrimp tail.
Yeah.
So just chew it up and swallow it. It doesn't taste great, but it cuts your shrimp count by 1. Is that cruel or what? It's like cheating on a wishbone. Yeah.
Hey, at least I wasn't trying to get extra food out of trying to get my wish.
Now I understand why your family developed the rule of one of you divide and the other one choose. And that's a good rule, Internet. You should also do that. That's really the only way to keep them honest.
Yeah.
So this particular
Apparently they were food aggressive.
you're aggressive.
No shit. No, Internet, if we're ever trapped on an island, you have to help me find food, or I've already found you.
Yes.
So
Which
this,
means you
Like, we're gonna
found
get along.
food.
I am super agreeable. I know some stuff. Like, we
As
probably
long
won't
as
die.
it's well fed.
Yeah, we gotta find food.
Yeah.
So this wishbone tradition actually goes all the way back to the Romans, and already was a long established English tradition. So the
With
Romans,
peasants, probably.
the Romans started it, and it spread
Yeah.
over to the English, and
I
it
mean,
was
whatever,
very
they're-
common.
It's kind of a standard bird bone.
I get a wishbone of people. Come on now.
From the 17th century to the early 19th century, it was common to have 3 to 4 different types of meat, basically just to prove that this was a feast. So
Well, and with
we
no-
got the meats.
And with no ability to store it.
Got to eat it all.
Right. And we're getting close to that. We're gonna have 2 this year, so that's
I saw that.
that's a step
Yes.
up. Though the turkey has long been the main dish, it was given a push after World War II with an all-out marketing,
Okay.
thing.
I'm sure the National Turkey Council or whatever was founded right around then.
So today, 690 million pounds of turkey are eaten by Americans on Thanksgiving Day. That is a lot of meat. And oh my gosh, I can't wait to I'm so excited.
I guess the feral dogs just got a little ahead of the calendar, huh?
That's true.
We recently lost our turkey to what we believe
a
were
turkey
feral
and a
dogs.
goose.
And a goose.
And several chickens, but anyway.
How many pounds?
690 million. More than 690 million pounds.
So 691 million pounds.
How many people are in America?
Not 300 million, so it's 2 pounds of turkey per
It's
person.
57 million turkeys.
Oh,
How many pounds are these turkeys?
12 pounds. I just did the half mark for
Yeah.
turkeys.
Wow.
Is it going to be better if I tell you it's 25?
How many turkeys is it again?
57 million.
Yeah.
America, you monsters.
Yep.
And I really can't say anything. I've eaten turkey on almost every Thanksgiving day. I've
And
had
turkeys are
turkey,
terrible.
so-
Like they're not nice. I got attacked nearly by wild turkeys because I saw them and I decided I want to get closer to get a picture. And then one of them got very big and thought we were going to do something about it. And like, okay, big bird, but this is going to go bad.
We used to have to fight the general
I
just to
hadn't-
get through the yard.
I hadn't seen my sister take down an emu yet, but I knew you're a bird with hollow ass bird bones. Like,
This isn't
you're not
gonna
going to
go the way you
win.
think this is
At
gonna
best,
go.
we're going to get to where after together going, yeah, told you. Like, they're going to have to pull us apart in the taco place.
So I've had that experience. I was taking photographs of Mother Swan and her little swanlets. Yes, I know they're called cygnets.
Really?
Anyway, yeah. And so
What's a
I'm
group of them called?
down on my, no idea. So I'm down on my knee taking photographs and I hear this hiss behind me and I turn around and there is an enraged male swan with his wings fully outstretched, standing on his tippy toes with his neck fully extended upward and curved back down to bite me. First of all, I'm on my knee. So I
Right,
get
so
back
he's
up.
like above you, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
And he's still somewhat taller than I am, and he's about 8 feet wide. And I'm trying, and again, bird bones. I'm trying to get back up the bank without damaging this male swan,
Right,
who is absolutely dead set on damaging me.
right.
So it hurts when swans bite you.
Yeah, I've heard.
So
It's a bevy of swans.
it's a bevy?
Or a
Okay.
wedge if they're flying.
Okay, it's a bevy.
So pilgrims probably had stuffing called pudding in the belly
Yeah.
for their feast. The stuffing the turkey wouldn't have happened because spits don't cook
Like
evenly.
that.
Yeah.
It's going to lose some every time you tumble it over.
Pumpkins would have been boiled in 1621. However, as the colony grew and they gained access to flour and the other ingredients and ovens, the pumpkin pie was very likely a common holiday staple. Cranberry sauce and mashed potatoes are a more recent
followed,
addition, because sugar was rare and hard to find, and potatoes didn't exist in America back then.
Don't worry,
Cranberries only
though.
grow
I
in
hear
a few
those
places.
fine boys at the Virginia
No.
Company.
Cranberries were actually prevalent wild here in
Okay.
America. In that area.
Okay.
Massachusetts has a bunch
Yeah, I
of
know, it's
cranberry
up in the-
bogs and that sort of thing.
It's
So
up in the ice-covered north where
Yeah.
the cranberries are.
it was
Where the
certainly
Frosted Flakes live.
they certainly would have been there, as we stated when we talked about it previously, but they would not have been as cranberry sauce or cranberry jelly. So Hale, the mother of Thanksgiving, we talked about her last night, was likely very influential on the modern fare we enjoy due to the book she wrote, in 1827 called Northwood. She also shared pumpkin pie recipes in Goody's Lady Book. Each culture and family adds their own special dish to this festive meal, including mac and cheese, tamales, which is Colombian, sweet potato pie, pecan pie, pen pate, which is Haitian, penes con pavo, which is Salvadorian,
That would be good.
oaxacan stuffing, which is Mexican, turkey rice porridge, which is Vietnamese, and certainly many more.
Oh, thank God you stopped because I'm beginning to drool. That does sound good. I don't even know what some of those things are, and I'd put it in my mouth.
And that's always been a good use for the turkey leftovers, of course, is the turkey soup at the end.
Oh my God. My
chowder.
mom makes an amazing turkey stew with she just puts all the leftovers in
Yeah.
it. She boils the turkey, gets all the
Yeah.
bones, uses the broth. Oh God,
Yeah.
it's fucking phenomenal.
Yep. Fortunately, this year we will not have a turkey carcass.
Tragical.
No, I bought turkey breasts.
That's right. We're not taking part in your turkey genocide. That's wrong.
Well,
Well, yeah,
we still have parts of a murdered turkey.
Yeah.
So we're just taking part in a
got
turkey
turkey
war
breasts.
crime. It's fine.
Okay.
But anyway, so tomorrow, Thanksgiving Explained Part 8. Again, we'll see where the wind takes me. But yeah, I think I've been doing particularly well coming up with new and interesting
I
topics.
think you have been.
Thank you.
And I think the wind, it's not really the wind, it's where the paywalls will let you blow.
Oh God, yeah, no, I'm never giving another email out to fucking read a thing. Fuck you, paywalls.
I'll show you with my ignorance. You damn
My
if I
God,
know.
I'll go get my news from YouTube.
Right?
No, what I'll do is I'll go
I'm
get my
going-
news from local channel, whatever.
I'm going to thingsthatarewrong.com.
I just realized every YouTube link anyone I've ever known has sent me, right?
I sent you a thing about a railgun. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, okay, so maybe it's not everyone. Okay, never mind.
He's taking it back before he finishes his sentence. Well played, sir.
Sometimes I send you things Robert Reich says about how, oh my God, it's all on fire and we should do something about it.
Yeah. That's typically not YouTube, though.
Meh. I know his videos on YouTube. Everyone should go watch that.
So, I'm sorry, I'm a boomer. I will tell you straight up. I would so much rather have the news in text form
Oh, yeah.
because I can read text
Yeah.
nearly 10 times as fast as you can present it in some idiotic,
Yep.
clip. So, anyway,
Must
cut
be
it
nice
out
to be
with
able
the-
to read fast.
anyway.
The reason why my research takes me so long is because I take so long to read.
Okay, no, and that's, I don't have an objection to the clip being there. I have an objection to having to watch the clip
Yeah.
to find out what's in it.
That the attempt to replace
Text.
normal news, like
Yeah.
Wright's article, versus Becky with the good hair or whoever. Not picking on you, Becky's. It's just the news presenters have a very specific type.
No, one of the things I've really enjoyed
For a
about doing this show and doing my deep dives and stuff is it has forced me to start reading because I used to regularly watch my news, and I have 5 or 6 different sources or listen to it.
Oh, yeah.
We have podcasts that we listen to.
Yep.
And that was how I was.
But that requires sort of all day to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. And so I can understand how people end up, especially if they go on the internet and ask it for things, and they're handed a wrong source from the jump.
Yeah.
There's a whole daisy chain they're going to run down now.
Yeah.
And some of them are going to go, oh my God.
I never
They've been
knew
hiding
that.
the truth for all these years.
Right, but with reading these articles, I've been able to learn and keep in more information than when you're just kind of watching stuff and trying to do other things, and then oh shit, did I miss something important?
Yeah.
So it's cool, but again, the reason why I do it the other way normally when I'm doing it for myself, it's just easier for me. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
But I agree with BoomerX's point of the pushing me into videos is not the way to make me stay.
No, I will.
I
not
will
stay.
literally, if I need to know what this is, I will go find another source.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
If all you present me is the video,
I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. I will not watch the video.
Yeah.
If the video wants to run while I read, that's fine, right? So get it loaded and get it running. I can ignore it while I read or not. But
no, that's fair.
if all you give me is the video, I will not watch it.
Yeah, no, and that I understand, especially when doing this kind of research where I need to take notes and stuff. Like trying to do this while watching things is just a pain because when we were doing the Halloween event, I was watching a movie and doing research, so I got to see both sides of it, and it was so much easier with the research rather than trying to write down what the show was saying. And so anyway, but love y'all. Thanks for hanging out with us again. Tomorrow, don't forget to come back for Thanksgiving Explained Part 8 and more weird news from us. We love you all, and we'll see you back tomorrow on BoomerRexTonight.
Send us money. We need a pirate aircraft carrier named Yacht.
We should probably give them a donate button before.
No, I love this. This is so much